Hey, Gezary.
Hello, Brandon.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on. How are you?
Good. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Uh,
I
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Thank you for joining this meeting. I spoke with Brando, and he sent me the idea of do this meeting with you guys, and I think it's just awesome, amazing. Feel free to ask me anything. I'm very like open minded, and I love to share. And if I can help a little bit, you guys gonna make my day. And yes, I'm from Brazil, so sorry if sometimes my English you guys don't understand very well. You can ask me. I'm gonna try to speak better. And yes, I'm from Brazil, black belt in jiu-jitsu from the past 7 years already. I have five world titles, three as a black belt, but now I'm in the state of my life that I want to build everything that I conquer and share. This is my goal now, and this is my next world title. So I want to share, I want to help people. I think on the pandemic, I started to do a lot of online classes, and I just start to discover like new feelings in my life, because sometimes it was like really hard for me to find something that gave me the pleasure as jiu-jitsu gave to me. And now when I start to teach, I'm like, that's awesome, like the way how I can share and make my heart really grateful. So this is my next word title now. So for me as a light feather, so I'm like, I compete at 115 pounds. So for me, it's really important to do the strength conditioning. I I felt like a huge difference before strength conditioning and after strength conditioning, especially on the injuries. So before I just want to jump it on the mats and roll, and I was always the smallest one. So I felt like I started to get like a lot of injuries, especially on my neck and lower back. Then after knee, wrist, So then when I was like purple belt, I I I said no. I'm gonna start to work out and lift some weights to prevent injuries and to get a little bit more pressure when I row with the guys. But yeah, before I was like, oh, that's so boring. I really don't like this. But since my body started to change and my pressure in jiu-jitsu start to get better and my injuries start to like almost no injury for years. I'm doing jiu-jitsu for more than 15 years. I never did any surgery.
mm,
I have a few injuries like neck, back, knee, but I always avoid the surgery. And I think the strength conditions made a huge difference on my career. So I had a guy before that was the best guy that I trained with. His name is Phil Darum. He left ATT unfortunately, but the way how I was training with him was the type of training that when I finished, he said, "Gee, Don." I was like, "That's it." Like, he never make me go like too heavy or too hard. Nothing above my head because my neck injuries. So even on the squats, everything was like front squats. I will grab you right here, and I do like this, and never like here. Um, he worked a lot of mobility, what is pretty hard. Was the type of exercise that was like, I thought I was flexible. I'm like, no, when I play guard, I'm really flexible. No. When he started to teach me like mobility and few exercises to open, like he goes and he like open everything and very slow and everything like engage with my breath. Then I start to figure out how weak few part of my body was. So it's not like it's strength, but it's like a very smart way to train. A lot of wall, like everything on the wall, he made me do like, you see like these gaps. When you do this, he made me close the gaps and like go. and stay on certain of positions that I feel like my core shaking, my legs shaking. I want to tap, but at the same time there is no weight. I'm like, man, how can be that hard? And I felt like I think it was the best shape of my life when I started to train with this guy.
Mm.
But yeah, it's like not much weight. Like it's hard, but at the same time you're like, okay, that's it. Then like I think I think because I'm a professional athlete, I always think I have to push them to my limit. So if I'm not like that, I feel like the session didn't work. But after him, I'm like, man, okay, train smart. Yes, a lot of bands, like this type of things, and like hold, isolate, squeeze. I can hear his voice like when I do this because I did it so many times. And this he made me do like 100. So like squeeze 100 times. Then switch grips, squeeze, isolate, everything to help on my neck. But yeah, he isolated the most. Like when he explained, you'll be like, oh, like he was a lot of words that is kind of hard for me to understand. But yeah, he knows what he's doing. Basically, I do like squats. This one down, this one down, and you know what I do a lot. Then for me, like was a life change. The one that you have to carry. So he put it like a band on me here, and I have to walk, like carry stuff. Then backwards, then sideways with the weight on my waist. And this he does for like a half hour sometimes outside and just go. But I can feel like my legs, my core, back, the whole body. But I never had a lot of problem with my cardio. And for me, the cardio for jiu-jitsu is different than any cardio that you're gonna do. So if you wanna have a good cardio in jiu-jitsu, you gotta roll because nothing can compare. Like I cannot run for 10 minutes. If I run 10 minutes, I'm like die. But I can roll for 1 hour. So it's like it's different. It's totally different. I never had a lot of problem with my cardio in jiu-jitsu, but I think this specific trainings that he does with me was not for cardio at all. Sometimes he made me do 30 seconds like explosion, like 30 seconds maybe on the bike, 30 seconds, and then he slow down, and then like he do everything, then 30 seconds again. But yeah, I think the main focus was more like on the weak muscles. That for me was like neck, especially on this thing. I even walk like I was walking like that because I think from jiu-jitsu we play so much here that some days I was like walking like this, and he like, gee, you gotta squeeze, like fix your posture. Hamstring, my hamstring was like really weak, and yeah. But for cardio, jiu-jitsu, there's nothing else. Row. Yes. For hamstring, the one that he made me do 100 every time. You can wear like socks, anything that is light your legs. So elevate it, and then you're gonna like slide and pull. So I slide very slow and pull, but with both, like with both feet at the same time. But you get a place that is light. You can buy an Amazon shoe. It's kind of like a disc that if you don't want to do with the socks, if you want to wear your sneaker when you do, it's like a disc that just slide on the floor. Helps a lot.
Yeah, I actually used those when I was in physical therapy for my ankle surgery, so I'm familiar with what you're talking about. Yeah, I'll get some of those. Thank you.
Yeah, and he made me do a lot of things like with these things too. So put white here. So basically, he like put me there, and then I go inside. Feels like nothing, but like I push, and then I come back. Push and come back. Push and come back. This helps too a lot. But if you try this thing that you put in waist, so he basically put me here, and it's like kind of like a tail with your weight. And when you start to carry forward, you're gonna feel your whole hamstring. Then I turn and then I go backwards. This is like my hamstring burn. You're gonna feel if you do like 10 minutes, you're already gonna feel what I'm talking about. But you don't just walk. You're not just like walk. I basically kind of squat and at the same time, I go like simultaneous with opposite arm and opposite leg. So I go right, left, and forward, same thing. And everything that I do, or the way how he teach me get in my brain, is breathing. Every step. He always make me empty my belly. So when I exhale, I go like, so every single step is like, so my core, I was like, in the specific for when I start to train with him, I went to one weight above. I fought for 55 kilos, and usually I fight what is like 125, I think. And I usually fight 115. So this whole train with him, I was like so jacked, you know, but I was basically doing this type of training. Our day of training, ice bath for sure. Like I know it's like hate and love for me, but there is no quickly way for my body to recover than ice. I really like ice. So I try not to do more than 2 times a week. Or I do like hot bath, Epsom salt, or like sauna, Epsom salt. But the days that like special Friday that I feel like I'm so beat up, I do ice bath. 2-3 minutes only, no much, no more than this.
That's doable. I was thinking 15 minutes. I'm like, I don't know if I can handle that.
No. Sometimes I like to do more rounds. If I can hold for 5, I do, but I always in my mind I put like at least 3 minutes. 3 minutes, I got it. I can go out, hold a little bit, and then I go back in, what is pretty hard. So sometimes I put in my mind, if there's 3 minutes and I feel like I can stay 5, I will stay 5. And then straight to hot shower, because I don't know, sometimes I feel like you're gonna get sick, you know.
Yeah.
But helps until here only. Yeah. I'm not going full, just like my arm, because this is for me where more I feel more sore is like my forearms and fingers. So I always make sure I put it like under my shoulder. Yeah. Close my eyes. You can always think, you know, just close your eyes and think about your breath. So you basically meditated there, because if you keep in watching the clock and think like, oh, it's cold, it's gonna be cold, you know. And instead of just helping my recovery, I feel this making me mental stronger, because, you know, like if you can hold, if you can control your body and the way how you breathe under the cold water, your mental, you're gonna be like, man, if I do that, I can do anything. Like fight or training is just, you know, like one more hard thing. But you're gonna learn about your body and your feelings, and you're gonna feel how your breath, you're gonna start to go. If you start to panic, you know, you're gonna quit. But if you like close your eyes and you start to control your breath, Brandon, for me, if I have a tip to give to you guys, is learn how to breathe. We don't know how to breathe. We just breathe. Yeah, like we don't like, oh, let me think, I have to breathe now. No, we just breathe. But when you start to pay attention the way how you're breathing, it's like new gap open your brain, new window.
Yeah. Do you do like Wim Hof breathing, or do you follow somebody in particular that you like to learn from?
I did this breathing too. If you go YouTube, it has like the way how he guides you how to do, and it's pretty cool. Especially before I did this in New York, actually, my first time I was doing. And I think I stayed more than 10 minutes on the ice bath. But we did it like 45 minutes of breath exercise before I go to the ice bath. Nothing. I promise I didn't feel anything. I went to the ice bath. I'm like, oh, I can stay here all day because the way how you're breathing, you control your temperature. And yeah, I like it. Oh, it's totally different. I do diet for tournament before compete, and my daily basic diet is totally different. Usually I cut like 8 to 8 pounds to compete, but remember, like I check the weight and compete. It's not like MMA that you cut your weight and then you have 24 hours to recovery and then you compete. So I dropped to 115. I'm usually like 122, 123, but I'm very lean. So like for me, for my body, is like a lot of weight. And I guess my brain already know when I start to cut weight because my train is gonna get hard. So my weight start to go really natural lower. Of course, I cut it all the fried things, white things like uh, sugar or whatever is white. Whatever is white, I cut it. How I say flour, sugar, these white things, cut it. Sometimes my weight is really low, and I love chocolate cake, chocolate. I love this type of things. But again, we go to the mental side of this. If I can control food, I can control my body, I can control my thoughts. This will make me mental stronger. So even if my weight is like really low and I still have 4 weeks before my tournament, I will not eat. You're not gonna see me eat anything. Oh, because your diet, because your weight? No, because I know if I eat, that means for me, I feel like I'm weak. I don't deserve to make weight, or I don't deserve to win. It's kind of like suffer, but on the same time, it's not suffer because it's the right thing to do. So everything that I put in my body, you make the difference for me on my fight day. Usually when I start my camp, is 8 weeks before the tournament. Everything that I eat, everything that I watch, everything that I do is focused on the day of my tournament. So if I go to the beach to relax, is because I'm thinking this is part of the schedule, the preparation for this day. So 8 weeks of my life, I'm not gonna eat any crappy food because not only because of my weight, but because to make me stronger on my mindset. But basically, I eat like real food, like sweet potato, chicken, red meat. I do eat. A lot of people think I'm like not eating red meat. I do eat red meat, but I not eat every day. I think it stay longer or to digest. So I eat like 2, 3 times a week only. Um, yes, and like real food. I can eat rice, beans, chicken, fish. I'm not like that much to vegetables and salad. So it's everybody like, what do you mean? Like, oh, you don't like it? I kind of don't like it. But until 118, I can drop it very well. 118 to 115, well, I usually do 114.5 just to make sure my weight's gonna be perfect. uh, these 2, 3 pounds on the fight week is hard for me because I train less. I try to recover my body to the fight day. So I try to control the food because I don't want to lose a lot of energy training or drilling. And then I start to add vegetables, salad. And because we are so hungry, even if you don't like it, you're just gonna eat and you're gonna feel the taste is delicious, like I eat carrots. I'm like, oh, I never thought that's so good. A broccoli, I'm like, this broccoli is delicious, but I only cut it the last 3 pounds on the fight week, what is pretty hard for me. I always think, man, I'm gonna kill her. I know it's hard, but I try to think where I came from, and I know how hard I training these 8 weeks. What I told you guys, everything that I do, everything that I watch, everything that I think is gonna be for this day. And I think it's kind of movie passing through my mind. And I'm like, okay, that's the day. Like you here, you doing what you want. Of course, I have like anxious inside my belly, and sometimes I start to get nervous. But then I go to the breath. I'm like, okay, you in the control. The only thing that you can control is your breath. So don't worry about your opponent. Don't worry about what people gonna say, what people gonna think. It's here, and you. Like line with yourself and be aware where you are and what you came to do. Because sometimes I feel my students when they go to the tournament, they get there and they get like so lost. And like I'm like, hey, 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 like wake up, I feel like they go away. I don't know where they go, but I try to make they come back. So you gotta be aware what you came to do, and you have to believe. Nobody else need believe you, but you have to believe that you're gonna do what you train for. So in my mind it's like, okay, time to kill. Like go there, do your job, be happy. You're gonna feel sometimes it's like a thought and a fight into your mind, like, oh, do you think there is no time to, oh, what if I should train more, what if no, you have to know that you did everything to this day, and you deserve to be the first place. You deserve to win the fight. Nobody trained harder than you. This is what I always put in my mind. Nobody trained harder than me, and I know what I'm gonna do.
I was kind of chuckling because I know like you're a very sweet person, but like your mentality is like I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna run right through you. So I love
Turn
it.
off, yeah, you gotta turn. It's like, okay, or her or me. Like I know if she get me, she gonna try to kill me. So go first, and I always go first. I never wait to see what type of game she gonna put on me. Like I always try to like put in my game. My game is like I always go forward, and I always try to do both sides. So you're never gonna see me like stop and waiting for you to put me in a guard or to do something, and then I gonna answer. I always gonna go first. I'm gonna go first. If you stop me, then I will think about the answer. But if you don't stop me, it's gonna be only me. I'm gonna attack the whole time. My white belt, I think straight conditioning for sure. Second thing, I think I will add this meditation, stretch, and yoga to learn how to control more better my emotions. Because jiu-jitsu is a lot of emotions going on. Like you're gonna feel frustrated, you're gonna like a lot of things that you have inside that you don't even know is gonna start to show. Because they're gonna jiu-jitsu gonna put you on the positions that you're gonna be like, man, I'm angry. You're gonna give you reactions that you don't even thought, oh, that's me. And I think when I was white belt, I kind of tried to avoid these thoughts. Like when I was really aggressive, sometimes like after training, I was crying because I get beat up, and I was like, man, like, so I don't really try to understand where these feelings come from. But if you understand these feelings, where these frustrations come from, you can use this to help yourself, to help your game. Because we're gonna feel that again and again and again, and you're gonna feel that forever because it's something that you have inside yourself. So when you understand what you have, you will learn how to use that to help yourself against somebody. And other thing is never about your opponent. If you have the frustration, if you like get angry, or if you want to cry, whatever, don't tell it's like your opponent or your coach. This is something that I did a lot. Like, oh, because they don't want to roll with me. Oh, because they are so mean with me. Oh, because my coach this. No, it's about you. everything that comes to your mind and you think about, how I say, blame somebody else, I'm sorry, it's you. It's something inside yourself that this feeling you come. So yeah, I think this sense of know your feelings is important for a white belt. So if it's like a G white belt, I will tell her like, hey, don't get mad, like look for your feelings and try to understand, because this will help you, because this feeling is always going to be there. So instead of a fight against your feelings, understand.
Uh, what is your strategy when going against somebody stronger and heavier?
Usually I don't compete open class. Why? This is a question that everybody asks me. For a black belt, your open class is going to be before your weight. So for me, it's because I cutting to 115, what is like one of the lowest division. There is no sense for me to compete open class. But usually I train only with heavier guys or girls, whatever. I'm always the lowest, and my mindset's the same. I try to play on top. I love to play guard, but with heavier people, I prefer to play on top. Why? My neck, my back. And if you're thinking long term, you always, guys, always have to visualize where you're gonna be in 5 years. You want to keep doing what you're doing now. Yes. So imagine if you play guard. I just want to play guard. My guard is really good. I'm very flexible. If you start to train 5 years with heavy people and you only play on bottle, you will feel your back. You're gonna have injury. So again, we come back to feel the room, train smart, learn how to train smart. The guy is heavier than me. I know he's gonna use a lot of strength. I'm not gonna play guard with him. I wanna play on top and learn where the positions that you can hold more. Like I always tell my students, sometimes I don't even pass. So if I get in sort of positions here, especially if I have heavy guys, so if I get it here, boom, 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 and I have this control here, or whatever, lapel, whatever I can go, okay? I will not pass. I stay here, I wait for him to bump me, waiting for him to lose his energy, and then I will pass. So this is something, it's like a energy bar, like how more his energy bar start to go lower, more my gonna come up. So we start to get more even. But if I go here and I get the position and I get the pass, I know he's gonna start to bump me. And then it's gonna be like a lot of energy here for me to control him. They basically bench press me here when they're like super strong. They like bench press me here. So I always wait for, I know the positions that I can control. I know the positions because when you start to do that for longer, you feel comfortable in certain ways. Of course, I don't want to get into his half guard. I prefer to stay. If I gotta have to, it's kind of fine, but I prefer to stay on this type of positions here. Because it's like 99% of the chance that I'm gonna pass. I basically pass here. If I get here, I know I'm gonna pass. But I'm gonna pass when I decide. I'm gonna wait for him to lose his strength. They heavier, they stronger. Let him work. Oh, I'm not here. You have to work, not me. No. So, and also you get into his mind. He gonna feel like, man, I tried to bump this girl, she don't even move. They begging me for pass. I'm gonna start to put so much pressure on his face, on his neck here, that they're gonna be like, please pass. And they're gonna be like, no, you move. Lose your energy now. You're stronger. So, and always pay attention on the time. Because sometimes, like you just go, 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 go. Then you look at the clock, 3 minutes left, and you have no energy anymore. Then they're gonna smash you.
That was really good. I remember you showed that position at your seminar, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, he feels really heavy. And I know that's
Yeah.
not always a compliment to a woman, but like for somebody who's, you know, smaller, I thought your pressure and your ability to just hold in that position was unbelievable.
Yes. I really like that. I know, like, for a lot of white belts, especially, you know, you guys always go this slice here. They always go. I don't know why. I don't know if it's more natural, but guys, here it never works, you know, because you gotta fight with this shield here. Now it's gonna be like, and if you drop, this is how you guys always get sweat. Because there is like no way here. There is no balance to do this knee shield for me. Here, it's only if you clean. If you clean, yes. But sometimes it's hard to clean. So instead of dropping this knee, I will drop this knee. Because now I can get much more power here to clean. So that's a good position. That's a good drill. If I can change one drill that I did for so long when I was white belt, instead of here, I will start to do this. And it's always to drop. So my first drop, 1. Second drop is important, 2. So it's like 1, change your level, drop. Second drop, 2. Don't worry about pass. Stay there first.
Steve has a couple of daughters, so he was asking here, you have amazing skin. What do you do to keep it healthy when you're training jiu-jitsu?
It's pretty hard, Steve. Man, it's so hard. Like jiu-jitsu, I think the gi or the mat burn, I don't know what it is, but it's like always something, you know, like always kind of like a dark spot or dark thing. But I do go to a girl that she's Brazilian and she works here. She's pretty good, but I go there every month. Very girly.
Okay, awesome.
Sometimes, like before, I don't have this at all, Brando. It's funny because sometimes, like before, I'm like, man, whatever, you know, like my face. I was so into a fight that I never like thought about this. But now, when I start to get older, when the guys start to smash my face or they start to give me a burn, I always like, hey, careful, my face. And they're like, gee, what happened? I start to get too girly, you know. But yeah, it is what it is, you know. Your face gonna burn. But yeah, they have very good professionals. If the girls feeling that daddy, I don't want to do jiu-jitsu because of my skin, it's good to invest on a aestheticist. I don't know how to say in English, but it's like a aestheticist that she put a mask, she clean, and then like don't quit jiu-jitsu because your skin. You still can work around. Same thing for nails. Like my brother come and say, oh, your nephew, she don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore because her nails. You gotta cut her nails. And I say, well, you can tape if she want to like long nails, try to tape. Try to do everything else before she quit because something small.
What would your advice be to my youngest daughter who is 9 and scared to compete? The main reason is she doesn't want to compete with boys.
It's so hard. I don't blame her, man. You know, because when you don't have a lot of girls, you gotta compete with the boys. And I guess when they are kids, there is no huge difference between the body type. But of course, they still are boys, you know, they like, I don't know, it's not same. So I don't really blame her. But I know there is a lot of tournaments now there is a girls. Like if you go to IBJJF and you keep looking for, it's gonna be the same age. I mean, I think it's 3 years different apart, but it's gonna be girls on her weight and on her age. So it's gonna be much fair. If this is only the problem, she don't want to compete only because she gonna compete with boys, you can solve easy. But you really have to think and understand if she's giving an excuse me because she don't want to do that, or if she like, no, I really want to compete, but not with boys. And I guess if she don't want to compete, you should not force her at all because it's gonna come natural. You know, like just keep her in jiu-jitsu, just keep it, feed her confidence, build her confidence. Like, man, you're doing great, you're doing great. And one day she will feel natural, especially if she see like her friends going to the tournament. She will try to be part of the group and like, oh, everybody's going, I may go. Bring her to tournaments to watch when like her teammates compete. Bring her. No, you don't need to compete. Let's go watch. So she can get like a sense of what it is, and don't be too hard on her. I work with kids for 8 years, and sometimes I have to have meetings with the fathers, special fathers, because the mothers are kind of like not that competitive, but the fathers are like, wow, what are you doing? And I always tell you, man, it's just like, wait, he's just a kid, you know? Like he never cries. But when you hear, he always cries. So don't put too much pressure on they are just kids. Remember that we spoke about emotions. If it's hard for us to understand what we are feeling, can you imagine for your kid? You know, like, and then when you see you or when she sees you there, she want to do the best what she can. And if she fell and she looks to you and you get mad, inside her mind is like, she go like, oh my god, I don't deserve, I'm not good, I don't want to compete, I don't want to do this anymore. But if she fell and then she looks to you and you say like, keep it going, there is like not about to be the best of the other kids. She has to be the best what she can with what she have, you know. So just to you be there with her and encourage her to keep doing training. I tell you, you are doing awesome. You are a very good father just to do that. Don't put too much pressure on her.
Wow, that was a lot of gold. That was amazing. How Jazari, how old were you when you first started training?
When I started with capoeira before to beat my brother. And my brother, he's older. He's like 1 year older than me, and yeah, he always beat me. And I guess I don't know if it's in Japanese family, but the older brother, he's like the gold boy, you know. So he's allowed to do everything. He was like, you know, like I'm the little girl that just cry. So all the time he beat me up, and I look for my father or for my mom, like, man, can you see what he's doing? And everybody like, ah, such a drama girl, go to your room. And I was like, man. So I start to figure out a way to protect myself because nobody gonna do for me. And then I started capoeira when I was 17, and he was doing Muay Thai. So, but he still beat me up. So I guess Muay Thai was beating capoeira. So then I started to follow him. And he was training with Anderson Silva, the UFC champion now. Anderson's from my city in Brazil. So before Anderson be Anderson, he was training with him. And then I started to join the class. So he got mad that I was there and he beat me up in front of everybody. And Anderson saw that, and then he kicked my head and I kind of like got knocked out, you know. And then Anderson came and Anderson beat him up in front of all his friends. He never showed up in the gym again. And then I keep it going. I keep it going, I keep it going. And yeah, I remember he stopped to talk with me for years, like 2 or 3 years. We live in the same house and he like don't even look at me. And I start to get better, you know. I say, man, when this guy come, I'm gonna beat him up. And then after that, Anderson started to put him in jiu-jitsu. So I was like 20, 21 already. And guess what? He never beat me up anymore. Never came anymore. I guess the confidence that self-defense, Muay Thai, whatever martial arts the kids or like you guys, you're gonna feel. They even look at people, the bullies, they look to you different. They look and they be like, oh nah, not this girl. And I was looking at him already like, calm, like, even if I was scared, I was like, feel calm, I know what to do. If I don't know, I pretend.
Okay. Last question here is how do you like to add new techniques to your game and then implement them into competition? Like, what's your process like?
Yes, so a lot of people don't like to change. They like, oh no, that's my game. Special old school. If you go talk with your old school guys, they're like, oh, this bearing bolo doesn't work. Invert guard, S guard. They always start to talk bad about new positions. And I think when you don't know, when you don't understand something, this is why you talk bad. So I'm very open mind. I have one guy, he's a purple belt, and he's a very good on reverse de la riva, like kiss of the dragon, bearing bolo. So I have no problem at all to come every day to him and ask, hey, can you teach me? Because he may be a purple belt in other situations, but for this type of position, he's like really good. And I'm a white belt on this type of position. So I always look for new positions. And soon as he showed me, I have a very easy way to try to do that when I roll. So if he show me a position today, Brando, and I like it, fix on my brain, the way how I think, I'm like, oh, may I can do. If I roll with you, you're gonna see me trying to do. Even if I fell, probably you fell a few times. But to put in the on the tournament, that's different. I will not try new position when I fight. I will not try new positions. I will not try something that I think like, oh, may I gonna get it? No. If I know exactly what I have to work on. So this is one part of train smart and know yourself. So I know exactly the drills that I'm gonna do, exactly the pass that I'm gonna do. And if I am good on this pass, I will repeat that 100 times every day until the tournament day. So my favorite drills, the drills that you help you guys a lot. I think I always pass on the seminar, so probably Brandon saw that. So I just push, punch, and kick. And then when you start to get really good on this, you're gonna start to do both sides. 1, 2, 1, 2. And this I will do 100 times. I do by time. So I do like 3, 4. You can start with 3 rounds of 2 minutes. You're gonna feel. If somebody asks me about cardio, that's the cardio that you need. You don't need cardio running, but you need cardio on this type of position. What is pretty hard for us to do. Why? Because on our daily, we don't get lower than here to sit at the chair or drive a car. In jiu-jitsu, this has to be normal. Down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the cardio, that's the mobility, flexibility, just to show I'm already like, that's the cardio that we guys need. Repeat what you are good on and add new positions little by little. But don't like, oh, just try new things, new things, new things. Keep it trying new things, but never forget what you're good on.
Yeah, so your left leg right now, where that's over your knee, does that matter?
Yes, this matters.
Okay.
If I drop, he'll bring the knee shield.
Okay.
If I miss this, I have to come back. I cannot, if I drop here, he'll follow me.
Okay.
So that's a very good question, guys. I never do the second drop. I do the first. If you put this knee here, or if I drop, or if I cannot clean this, I will come back. I don't go for the second drop. So my first drop, that's the fight. I kind of pinch between my ribs and my thigh here. And I close my knee on his hips. Why? He's gonna do hip escape. He's gonna try to bring his leg in. He's gonna try to find the space to bring his knee shield. So as soon as I clean this, I kind of like close. And I don't drop straight. I will drop that way. Head down. Now we can start to stay. Whatever he moves here, I follow. Look at my second arm, trying always to control his hips. If you can grab here, good. If you can grab here, even better. Because now you have an extra hand. Head down. Do the tail here. Open your toes. Open your toes, shoulder pressure, head down. Let him push. He's gonna push, he's gonna bump, then you press. Yeah.
If you can't get the cross face, are you backing up until you can, or are you kind of just sitting there?
No, you need this. You need this. You can. You can go for underhook if you want, but then it's gonna be another position.
Okay.
But basically here, Joey, he's not gonna worry too much about this hand. The hand that he used to block is gonna be this one. This one's gonna be hard, but this one is pretty open.
Okay.
This one's gonna be the fight.
Okay. Thank you.
That's gonna be his frame. Brando, I don't know what I'm gonna say on here.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what I waited for this fight, for this frame. Why? Because as soon as he frame you here, you guys can start to work in the submissions. Okay. But why I don't worry about this hand, Joey, or about the cross face? Because remember that I told you I'm not gonna come straight. I'm gonna come here. So basically here, you're not gonna stretch or give me a hard time here. You're gonna try to frame.
Okay.
Perfect spot.
Cool.
Oh, that's the drill, guys. Oh. Here, drag. This second hand is gonna be the second fight. As soon as you get here, then you fight. Open the lapel, feet to the other hand, control the hips, let it bump. Let it bump, feel comfortable here, work with the toes, the other leg here, I still opening. If you miss here, you're gonna catch one half. So make sure you pin his leg right here and then open. I take a photo for you guys.
Oh yeah, let's do a shaka, you guys.